My daughter sold my house while I was in a coma and moved her boyfriend in. She actually looked me in the eye and said, "You were supposed to die anyway." But when I woke up and called the police, she screamed when the officer told her the power of attorney was worthless paper. If you're reading this, grab a cup of tea, because I'm about to tell you how I went from vegetable to the woman who sent her own child to prison. Honey, they say blood is thicker than water, but sometimes blood is just a stain you have to scrub out. 3 months ago, I was just Catherine, a 64-year-old widow living a quiet life. But let's get one thing straight. I am not your typical grandmother. I don't knit, and I certainly don't wear gray. I've always believed that looking good is the best armor a woman can have. I dye my hair a deep, vibrant auburn, not a single strand of gray allowed, and I keep my skin looking like I'm still in my 50s. My husband, Frank, and I built our dream house 30 years ago. It was my sanctuary. But then, the accident happened. A truck ran a red light and slammed into my car. I don't remember the crash. I just remember the darkness. For 3 months, I lay in a hospital bed. My daughter Chloe was supposed to be my advocate, my protector. Instead, I woke up alone. When I finally opened my eyes, the room was empty. No flowers, no cards, no Chloe. When the nurse walked in and dropped her tray in shock, I found out why. "Mrs. Sullivan, you're awake," she gasped. "Your daughter, she told us to stop life support preparation. She said you had no brain activity." My stomach turned. My own daughter had left me for dead. It took me 4 days to convince them to discharge me. I was weak, yes, but my will was iron. I put on the clothes I had in my belongings bag, a tailored cream-colored power suit that I'd been wearing the day of the crash. It was a bit loose now, but I belted it tight. I applied my signature red matte lipstick, brushed out my glossy auburn waves, and grabbed my cane. It wasn't just a medical device. It was a sleek, black lacquered cane with a silver handle. I held it like a scepter. I wasn't going home as a patient. I was going home as the matriarch. I called a ride. When the car pulled up to my driveway, my breath hitched. My rose garden, my pride and joy was gone. The beautiful red blooms were ripped out, replaced by a patch of dirt and a rusted weight bench. In the driveway sat a lifted truck that looked like a monster. I stepped out of the car, my heels clicking on the pavement. I adjusted my gold watch and smoothed down my blazer. I might have been recovering from a coma, but I stood tall. I walked up to the door and punched in my code. Error. The lock was new. I pounded on the door with the silver handle of my cane. "Chloe, open this door." A moment later, the door swung open. But it wasn't Chloe. It was a man I'd never seen before. He was shirtless, covered in tattoos, and wearing my late husband's silk robe. The blue one I kept in a box because it still smelled like Frank. "Yeah? What do you want, lady?" he grunted, scratching his chest. My emerald green eyes narrowed. "Take that off," I commanded, my voice low and dangerous. "Take my husband's robe off right now." He laughed. "You got the wrong house. Beat it before I call the cops, Grandma." "Don't call me Grandma," I snapped. "I am Catherine Sullivan. I own this house, and you are wearing stolen property." "Babe, who is it?" Chloe's voice drifted from the kitchen. She walked into the hallway, holding a glass of my vintage wine. When she saw me, she froze. The glass slipped from her hand and shattered. "Mom," she whispered. Her face went pale, her eyes darting between me and her boyfriend. She didn't rush to hug me. She looked at me like I was a zombie who had climbed out of a grave to ruin her party. "I'm alive, Chloe," I said, stepping over the threshold, pushing the boyfriend aside with my cane. "Although it seems you were betting heavily against that." Chloe's shock instantly turned into defensive anger. She crossed her arms, trying to match my posture, but she just looked like a petulant child. "You weren't supposed to wake up," she said coldly. "Excuse me?" "The doctor said it was hopeless. They said you were a vegetable." She gestured around the room. My antique furniture was gone. The walls were painted a hideous dark gray. "I had to move on, Mom. I have a life. Jackson and I needed the money for his business. You were supposed to die anyway." The cruelty of it almost knocked the wind out of me. My own daughter, standing there annoyed that I hadn't died on schedule. "I see," I said, my voice icy calm. "So you sold my things?" "I sold the house," she smirked to myself. "Then I added Jack's to the deed. It's our house now. I used the power of attorney you signed 5 years ago." "You sold my house? For $1?" I looked at the paperwork on the entry table. "It's legal," she shouted. "Now get out. Go back to the hospital. You're useless now, Mom. Look at you. You're crippled. You can't live here alone." Jack stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. "You heard her. Get out." I looked at Jax, then at Chloe. I caught my reflection in the hallway mirror. I didn't see a cripple. I saw a woman with fire-red hair, piercing green eyes, and a suit that cost more than Jax's truck. "I'm not going anywhere," I said. I walked over to the only chair left in the living room, a cheap folding chair, and sat down, crossing my legs elegantly. I rested my hands on my cane. "I'm calling the police." "Fine," Chloe shrieked. "I'll call them too. I'll have you arrested for trespassing." 20 minutes later, the police arrived. Chloe turned on the waterworks instantly. "Officer, please," she cried, rushing to the door. "This woman is my mother, but she's mentally unstable. She has dementia. She thinks she still lives here, but I own the house." The officer, a young deputy, looked at me. I stood up slowly, smoothing my cream trousers. "Officer," I said calmly, "I do not have dementia. I was in a coma until 3 days ago. I returned home to find my daughter has liquidated my assets and moved a stranger in. Here's the deed." Chloe shoved a paper in the officer's face. "And here's the power of attorney she signed in 2019. It gives me full control." The officer looked at the papers. He looked at me, apologetic. "Ma'am, the paperwork looks legal. The deed is in her name." "Wait," I said. Through the front window, I saw a black sedan pull up. My lawyer, Mr. Harrison, stepped out. He adjusted his tie and walked up the path. I had called him from the taxi. "Officer," Mr. Harrison boomed, "I represent Catherine Sullivan." "He's lying," Chloe yelled. "I have the power of attorney." Mr. Harrison ignored her. He opened his briefcase. "Officer, the document she is holding is dated 2019. However," he pulled out a document with a red stamp. "This is a revocation of power of attorney, filed in 2021. Chloe stopped screaming. "What? You remember 2021, don't you, Chloe?" I asked, stepping closer to her. My green eyes bored into hers. "That was the year you stole $10,000 from my savings to pay off your gambling debts. I told you I forgave you, but I didn't say I trusted you." I didn't know," Chloe stammered. "We sent you a certified letter," Mr. Harrison said. "You signed for it." The officer took the revocation document. He looked at Chloe. The pity in his eyes vanished, replaced by stern authority. "Ma'am," the officer said to Chloe, "if this power of attorney was revoked, you had no authority to sign that deed. That means you forged a transfer of property." "And," I added, pointing to the truck outside, "my banking app shows a $50,000 withdrawal yesterday for a custom vehicle. That's theft." "No," Chloe backed away. "It was an advance, on my inheritance." "You don't get an inheritance until I'm dead, Chloe," I said sharply, "and I look very much alive." "Jax," Chloe screamed. Tell them it was legal." We all looked at the kitchen door. It was swinging shut. The back door slammed. Jax was gone. "Turn around, Miss Sullivan," the officer said, pulling out his handcuffs. "No, you can't!" Chloe screamed, thrashing as the cold metal clicked onto her wrists. "Mom, stop them. I'm your daughter." She looked at me, tears streaming down her face, ruining her makeup. She looked pathetic. "Mom, please. I was just trying to protect the assets." I walked up to her. I stood close enough that she could smell my expensive perfume. I looked her up and down, my expression unreadable. "You told me I was useless," I said softly. "You told me I should have died." "Well, Chloe, I didn't die. I woke up, and I cleaned house." "Take her away," I told the officer. As they dragged her to the cruiser, she screamed like a banshee. "I hate you! Why didn't you just die?" I watched the car drive away. Mr. Harrison put a hand on my shoulder. "Are you okay, Catherine?" I looked at my ruined garden. I looked at the cheap gray paint on my house. Then I looked at my reflection in the window. My red hair shining in the sun, my suit crisp, my head held high. "I'm fine, David," I said. "Actually, I'm better than fine. I'm free." It took 6 months to fix the legal mess. Chloe is currently serving 4 years for fraud and elder abuse. Jax was caught 2 states over trying to sell my jewelry. He's in jail too. I replanted my rose bushes yesterday. I bought the most expensive, vibrant red roses I could find. They match my hair. Sometimes people ask if I feel guilty, if a mother should have mercy. I just sip my tea and smile. I raised a daughter, yes, but I didn't raise a thief, and I certainly didn't raise a fool.